Good evening, everyone. Am I audible and visible to everyone? Confirm the audio and video once. Great. Brahma Triplets. Heard about it earlier? Anyone? Strange, no? I don't think you guys have heard about this Brahma Triplets ever. Have you? Good evening, Arjun. So, this class will be a life-changing event for you because that is not normal mathematics which you do every day. This is the pure mathematics. Like, we'll be telling stories about how mathematics evolved and how these things are relevant to your aptitude-based questions. All right. So here we go. The theorem. So we talk about Pythagoras theorem first of all, which I think all of you know already. It says the formula for Pythagoras theorem is a square plus b square is equal to c square. In this equation, c represents the longest side of a right angle triangle called the hypotenuse. A and b represent the other two sides of the triangle. So basically, if I have this as a and this as b, this is c, and it's a right angle triangle. All of us know it, right? And normally what happens? Whatever is vertical, we call it perpendicular, and whatever is horizontal, we call it base. And this will be called as hypotenuse. We know it already. By the way, if I ask you, can P and B be interchanged? Yes or no? Can we interchange perpendicular and base? We can do that. Algebraically, it doesn't even matter because a square plus b square equal to c square, or it can be b square plus a square is c square. So it's the same thing. So what if I take an example where I say perpendicular is 3 and base is 4, hypotenuse will be 5. I can also say perpendicular is 4, base is 3 and hypotenuse is 5. So both are correct, which means that P and B can be interchanged. Yes or no? Is that clear, everyone? Tell me in the comments, we can do that, right? P and B are interchangeable. All right. So now we need to understand, when I was a kid, I thought that how Pythagoras must have come with this equation and what was going behind in his mind. So we can do one thing. I will try to take a square. This is a square whose length is P plus B. So let me mark a few points. First point here. And if I join them like this, wait, I'll do it in a better way. I'll change the colors. So we have a white square like this. And now I'll put another square, a smaller square here, like this. Okay, so I'm saying that I have divided, this line as this is B, let the length be B, and here let the length be P. So I divided in the same way as B and P. Is that clear? So I inscribed a smaller square in such a way that the outer square gets divided into P and B. Okay? So what is the side of the larger square? Anyone? Side of larger square, what is it? With white, I'll write side of larger square. That is P plus B, yes or no? And what's its area? Area is P plus B whole square. Because area of a square is square of its side, isn't it? Tell me in the comments, yeah? So if I extend it, if I open the bracket, I'll get P square plus 2PB plus B square. That is what we have. Okay. And for the smaller square, let the side be H. Okay. So what will be the area of the smaller square? Its side is H. Its area will be equal to how much? H square. That is clear? Great. Now, I can also say that the white square, the bigger square, is a combination of a small square and 4 triangles. Yes or no? We have 4 triangles. Triangle number 1, triangle number 2, triangle number 3, and triangle number 4. And the area of those triangles is equal to half of P into B. This can be said, right? So far, so good. So now in all of it, I can say that this, the area of the bigger square is actually P square plus 2PB plus B square. This is nothing but sum of the area of the smaller square, that is H square, plus the area of 4 triangles. That means 4 into half of PB. Now you can see here that 2PB on both the sides get cancelled, and all we are left with is P square plus B square is equal to H square, and that is the Pythagoras theorem. Alright? Makes sense, isn't it? Such a beautiful way to derive this equation. And now it is kind of very much logical, so you'll be having no confusion at all. Look at this. Isn't it? So in this GIF, what we can see here, that we get 2 squares, A square and B square, from the initial square, which was C square, isn't it? Watch it again and you'll get to know. Perfect. All of you get this GIF? Understood? Right, Priyanka, Abhinav, Yashi, Ramu, Antra, Vipul, Viraj. Okay. Once we have done this, now we'll try to understand that what exactly is a triplet. So, any number, and there's one thing which we will be sure about, that Pythagorean triplets, they are formed by natural numbers only. So why do I say that? Because a triplet is nothing but sides of a triangle. Sides of a triangle. They can never be negative. And at the time of Pythagoras, only natural numbers existed. So 3 square plus 4 square is equal to 5 square. Is it satisfying? 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, 5 square is 25. It is satisfying. So we can have a triangle like this whose two sides are 3 and 4 and the longest side is 5. Okay? Always be natural number, it never be a fraction. It can be a fraction algebraically. Equation satisfy कर सकता है पर उसको हम Pythagorean triplet नहीं बोलेंगे. Is that clear everyone? Understood? Like a square, b square, c square, a, b, c can be negative for the equation to be satisfied, but in that case a, b, c would not be called as triplets. Is that clear everyone? Clear? So let us write a few triplets for our reference. 3, 4, 5. It's a triplet. 5, 12, 13. This is also a triplet. 6, 8, 10. This satisfies, but this won't be called as a triplet because this is nothing but derived from this, derived from the first one. Double of 3, 4, 5 is 6, 8, 10. So we won't call it a pure triplet, it will be a derived triplet. Okay. 7, 24, 25. These are a few triplets. Okay. हाँ प्रियंका, बेसिकली जो भी लिखा है मैंने यहाँ पे वो ए स्क्वायर प्लस बी स्क्वायर इक्वल टू सी स्क्वायर को सेटिस्फाई करेगा और ये सारी चीज़ें नेचुरल नंबर्स होनी चाहिए. इट कैन नेवर बी अ फ्रैक्शन और एन इंटीजर even if it satisfies. So when they are natural numbers, we call them Pythagorean triplets. Why is it important? Why are we doing this? That's the question. So in geometry is not yet done in your batch, but in geometry, when we have questions of triangles, circles, etc., when we have a triangle, there are a lot of opportunities, lot of chances in which there's a right angle triangle and they are following the triplet. So once it happened with me in CAT, there's one question which was very difficult, but because it was a right angle triangle and following the triplet, I had only 1 minute, one question was left, which would have taken me 3 minutes, but because I knew the triplets, I put it there and I tried to satisfy it and it was correct and I got the marks. So this is going to help you in speeding up your geometric calculations. Is that clear? Clear. So let's do a question. Let us do a question. We have a question here. If a square plus b square is 169, then how many natural solutions a comma b exist? कितने होंगे? First of all, we'll write it in the form of a square plus b square equal to c square. 169 is square of 13, isn't it? So what all values can a and b take? Pankaj, exactly. 5 square plus 12 square is 13 square. 5 square is 25. 12 square is 144. It is satisfying. So a and b can take both the values 5, 12 or 12, 5. So we have two solution sets. Very good. A very easy question. ठीक है, एक और करते हैं. A square plus b square is 625. Then how many whole number solutions a comma b exist? Whole number solutions. First step is we should write a square plus b square is equal to 25 square. New matrix and Shri Harsha say 4. If it is whole number, then we can have 0, isn't it? So, 0 square plus 25 square is 25 square. Satisfied? The reverse is also possible. दो तो यही हो गए. Anything more? 7 square plus 24 square is 25 square. You can check it out. Or 24 square plus 7 square is also 25 square. Now, the thing is, a lot of you might not be able to look at this solution. Either you know it or you try to calculate it by hit and trial or by any other method. We have 4 solutions here. We're going to come to the real thing of today's class. Let's try this out. If a square plus b square is 25, then how many integral solutions a comma b exist? Now we have integral. Now we have integral. What needs to be done here? The simplest triplet 3, 4, 5, isn't it? So we can have 0 square plus 5 square is 5 square, solution number 1. We can also have 0 square plus square of minus 5, that is 5 square. Why? Because integers are also allowed. We can take negative numbers, isn't it? 5 square plus 0 square is also 5 square. Square of minus 5 plus 0 square is also 5 square. 4 तो यही मिल गए. 3 square plus 4 square is 5 square. Square of minus 3 plus 4 square is also 5 square. 3 square plus square of minus 4 is also 5 square. Square of minus 3 plus square of minus 4 is also 5 square. 4 यहाँ भी मिल गए, है ना? मजा आ गया. This is not the end. इसका उल्टा भी तो हो सकता है. 4 square plus 3 square, square of minus 4 plus 3 square, 4 square plus square of minus 3, square of minus 4 plus square of minus 3 is also a possibility. So we have 4 more. Overall, we have 12 solutions. Not 2, not 4, not 8. It's overall 12 different solutions. Is that clear? Everyone? Clear to all of you? Yes or no? अभिषेक क्या हो गया? है ना? We have 12 different solutions. अब प्रॉब्लम क्या है? प्रॉब्लम ये है कि अगर हमारे पास प्रियंका तभी तो क्लास है. हमारे पास ऐसे अगर क्वेश्चंस आएंगे तो क्या हम लिखते रहेंगे? Do we have something else? Do we have another method? And that is where Brahma Triplets come into existence. Okay, but before going there, I want you guys to show something, and now the class will jump in its mathematical perspective. I want your complete focus and attention. Are you ready? Ready, everyone? Now I am going to do a few things, and then in the same questions that we have done till now, what if? I'm going to change something. See, what I'll do here, if I change the question to a square plus b square is equal to 16, then what will be the answer? Who's going to tell me? if I write a square plus b square is 16, then how many natural solutions exist? Yeah. We will have no solution. There will be no solution at all. There will be no solution at all. तुम बोलोगे कैसे पता चला इतनी जल्दी? Either you can go by hit and trial and then you will realize it's not there, or there is something else. I'll tell you what is there. Let me do the same thing in this question also. A square plus b square is 16, and now I am asking how many whole number solutions are there? Can we have whole number solutions here? Of course we can have. 4 square plus 0 square, 0 square plus 4 square. Here we have two solutions. In case of whole numbers. Yes or no? That's right. For whole number. And for the integral, if I replace this by again the same thing, then integral, how many integral can we have? 4 square plus 0 square, 0 square plus 4 square, 0 square plus square of minus 4, minus 4, square of minus 4 plus 0 square. Here we have 4 different solutions. इतना सब करने के बाद क्या समझ में आया? इसके पहले we are trying to find the answers. We had a lot of answers, but now we do not have those many answers. The reason is very simple, that in the initial questions, this thing on the right hand side was the square of a possible hypotenuse. कह सकते हैं, है ना? This was, we are able to solve this. The reason is simple, that there is a Pythagorean triplet which is 5, 12, 13. But when I made it like this, there is no triplet in which the hypotenuse can be 4. Is that clear? And that is why we were not able to find any natural number solutions. So as I told you earlier, that Pythagorean triplets are always natural numbers and they follow this formula. But a square plus b square is equal to 4 square. 4 cannot be the hypotenuse of any right angle triangle, and that is the reason we are getting it. All of you got that? Great. No doubt at all. Now what does that mean? That means if this value is not the part of any Pythagorean triplet, then we will get 0 natural solutions, 0 natural solutions, 2 whole solutions, and 4 integral solutions. Can we say that? I'll make a table and revise it for you. But can we say that if the right hand side, what a value is there, if its square root is not any Pythagorean triplet, then we can have 3 different answers: 0 natural solutions, 2 whole solutions, and 4 integral solutions. Yeah, perfect, no problem, right? Yeah, and also, if this is a part of Pythagorean triplet, in that case, what is going to happen? In that case, we will have 2 natural solutions. प्रियंका आते हैं वहां पे? हाँ बिल्कुल आते हैं वहां पे. मुझे ये बताओ, if it is this thing is a part of Pythagorean triplet, then in case of natural solutions we can have 2 solutions, right? Right? Two natural, 4 whole, and 12 integral. Can we say that? Got it, everyone? तो अब इन सारी बातों में ये तो समझ में आपको आ गया है कि ठीक है आंसर वो 12 हो सकता है एट मैक्स, उसके ऊपर जाएगा ही नहीं। ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है पहले ये जानेंगे, और ऐसा कैसे जल्दी कर सकते हैं अब ये जानेंगे। सो नाउ द एजेंडा इज टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट व्हाई इज इट हैपनिंग and how it can happen quickly. Okay, so you have to be ready for that. Well, having said that, I want you to realize one simple thing. Look at this equation again. So I can write x square plus y square is equal to z square. That is what Pythagoras theorem means, where x, y and z are the sides of a right angle triangle. Okay, यहां तक पढ़ लिया हमने। अब मुझे एक बात बताओ सब लोग, what if I make this value a constant? Are you getting it? I want to make this value a constant. Then what is going to happen? What is going to happen? I'll show you graphically. All of you are ready for this. So I told you, I asked you to be ready and to be more focused, because now we are jumping over to some real beautiful and complex mathematics. And to make it simple, I'll give you an example. See, this is xy plane, x and y. And here what I said, I am making this value as constant. This cannot change, but these two can change. इसका मतलब क्या है? Mohit, what's not visible? Just refresh it once, Mohit. This is very important. I'll wait. Refresh it. We have xy axis, right? So if I want to plot a graph, then what's going to happen? What is going to happen? देखते हैं क्या होगा। So let this constant be equal to r. So I'm writing x square plus y square. मैंने constant मान लिया r square. Okay. All right, now it is visible, no, Mohit? I'll write it again. This is the original equation. I am saying, what if I make this z as a constant and assuming the constant to be equal to r, okay? So I'm writing r is a constant. मैंने r को constant मान लिया उसी Pythagoras theorem में, तो क्या होगा? That is what we will see graphically. All right. This is x-axis and this one is y-axis. Now it's visible, everyone. So, मुझे बताओ क्या क्या possibility हो सकती है? If I put here, let me make a table, x and y का. If I put x as r, y will be 0. If I put x as 0, y will be r. If I put x as minus r, y will be 0. If I put x as 0, y can also be minus r. That makes sense? Yes or no? हो रहा है ना ऐसा? ये क्लियर है? Having said that, value of xy can keep on changing, but value of r doesn't change. ये बात वैसी ही है कि अगर मैंने एक गाय को एक खूंटे में बांध दिया और वो खूंटा यहां पे गाड़ दिया, दिस ओरिजिन, और जो उसकी रस्सी थी उसकी लेंथ r थी, तो वो गाय कैसे घूम पाएगी? वो कैसे घूम पाएगी? It can move only in a circle. That's a practical example. That is the practical example. And the points at which it is intersecting the axis, this point is r comma 0, जो यहाँ पे मिला हमें. Okay, this one is 0 comma r. This one is minus r comma 0, and this one is 0 comma minus r. Is that true? Isn't it? चलेगा ऐसा? होगा? ऐसा बिल्कुल होगा। तो क्या हम ये कह सकते हैं कि पाइथागोरस थ्योरम में अगर इस हाइपोटेन्यूज पार्ट को कांस्टेंट कर दिया गया तो ग्राफिकली वी विल गेट अ सर्कल. This happens to be the equation of a circle whose center is at origin and radius is r units. Can I say that, yes or no? Abhinav, Manshi, Shubh, Mohit, Pulkit. See, what a beautiful way to look at triangles. Algebra से number से बना algebra, algebra से बना triangle, triangle से बन गया circle. Isn't it? So this is why Pythagoras theorem को जब पढ़ते हो तो आप सोचते हो कि बस वो p square plus b square h square. It's more than that. It's lot more than that. And this is what you can see over here. And that is the reason that we will get at least 4 points तो मिल ही जाएंगे इंटीग्रल वाले. कौन कौन से? ये 4 points. अब यहाँ पे और कोई भी पॉइंट में उठा लूंगा. Let me pick any point over here. Any point. Let's pick this point. I don't know what's the value of this point. Let this value be a comma b. मतलब ये हुआ. If I drop it like this value is b and this value is a. This is a comma b. Then this length will be r only. तो ये कहीं भी मूव करता रहेगा, सर्कल ही बनाएगा. ये तो कंफर्म हो चुका है. There is no doubt about it. This guy is free to move. It's variable. But where it moves, its distance from the origin is fixed, which is radius, and that is what the definition of a circle is. Okay? ठीक है? अब इसी में I will assume r to be equal to 5. Let's assume r to be equal to 5. Then what's going to happen? Let's see that. What's going to happen? I'll replace all the r's with 5 and let's see what is going to happen with this. This will be 5 comma 0. This will be minus 5 comma 0. This will be 0 comma 5 and this will be 0 comma minus 5. Isn't it? Right? And now we know that 3, 4, 5 is a triplet. 3, 4, 5 is a triplet. So, and if I assume this to be 3, this to be 4, it will lie here, isn't it? It's going to lie here. 3, 4 तो आएगा ही आएगा. ये इसका नेचुरल सोल्यूशन हो गया. इंटीग्रल कैसे होगा? 3, 4 के डिफरेंट इमेजेस ऑन ऑल डायरेक्शंस. सो 3, 4 का इमेज नीचे कौन बनेगा? 3, -4. इसका इमेज लेफ्ट में कौन बनेगा? -3, -4. इसका वर्टिकली कौन बनेगा? -3, 4. Is that right? बनेगा? तुम्हें 8 पॉइंट्स दिख रहे हैं? पहले केवल 4 थे. 4 तो होंगे ही होंगे. The moment I took r to be equal to something which forms a Pythagorean triplet, now I can see 8 points. And that's not the end. If 3, 4 is a point, then 4, 3 will also be a point. And 4, 3 के reflections नीचे. This will be how much? 4, -3. This will be -4, -3. And this will be -4, 3. Now we have 12 points. So now everything is visible to you graphically. And now you might be able to understand that why these things are happening. Why did we have 4 points? Why did we have 8 points? Why we had 12 points? And now you know that we cannot go beyond 12 points. That is impossible. 12 can be the maximum answer. ये 4 के मल्टीपल में ही बढ़ेगा. या प्रियंका आते हैं वहां पे. इतना क्लियर हो गया? So now I have told you why this is happening. And the next thing for which I again need your attention, you tell me, are you focused enough and energetic enough that I'll tell you how to do these things quickly just by looking at the question, solving it? Ready for that? Have a glass of water. कुर्सी की पेटियां बांध लो, तूफान आने वाला है. Okay, let's do that. And to do that, I'm going to show you a question. And this is the question. How many triangles are possible, none of which have their sides as an element of any Pythagorean triplet? That is the question. And this question is actually very difficult. I would rate this question as difficult. And today I'll take you back to a story which I was a part of when I was just a CAT aspirant like you guys. But before that, let's try to solve this question. And do you understand this question or not? ऐसे कितने ट्राइंगल्स पॉसिबल हैं, ठीक है, जिनका कोई भी साइड किसी भी पाइथागोरियन ट्रिपलेट का कोई पार्ट नहीं है? डू यू अंडरस्टैंड द क्वेश्चन? इसका मतलब ये हुआ, जैसे 3 4 5 इज अ ट्रिपलेट. ओके, आई गेव यू सम लिस्ट ऑफ ट्रिपलेट्स. 5 12 13 कैन ऑल्सो बी अ ट्रिपलेट. इसका मतलब ये हुआ, ऐसा कोई भी ट्राइंगल तुम नहीं बना सकते जिसका कोई भी साइड 3 हो या 4 हो या 5 हो या 12 हो या 13 हो, कोई भी पाइथागोरियन ट्रिपलेट में अगर वो नंबर आ गया तो उस तरह का साइड हम काउंट नहीं कर सकते. सो हाउ मेनी ट्राइंगल्स कैन बी फॉर्म, दैट इज द क्वेश्चन. ओके, मोहित सेज इट्स 0. लेट्स मेक मोर आंसर्स. Haseeb says it's 2. Okay. Also give the logic behind it. Mohit, why 0? Haseeb, why do you think it's 2? Okay, how many of you are not able to solve this? New matrix 7 7 7 is not possible because we can make a triplet with 7 24 25, isn't it? See, this question has a history. It has a very beautiful history, actually. I'll tell you the history. So, when I started teaching, that was in 2013, 11 years ago. I was myself, kind of very new from the college, and so there was a lot of students, nice students were there. It was my first class, and one student was there who became a friend of mine, very good friend, Ujjwal Kalra. He's a passer of IIM Ahmedabad, now is working as a consultant in top firms. So he was in the class and he asked me that I have finished everything, whatever is there in all the cat books. I know everything. There's only one question which I found somewhere I could not solve. The question was this one. Okay? And that guy, Ujjwal, was, he had scored 99.9 something percentile, and he, at the very same time, and he got a wait list of second or third in IIM Ahmedabad. And normally what happens if the wait list is in 20 Ahmedabad, you get the seat. But that year nobody withdrew and he was not able to get Ahmedabad. Think about it. How sad was it? But he was sure to get it. उसको नहीं मिला, उसने फिर से कोचिंग करना शुरू किया, just for the sake of practicing. And that was the time when I met him first time. तो उसका already 99.9 something percentile आ चुका था. And he gave me this question and I was not able to solve it, honestly. Because we have not done anything like this. But I asked him, Ujjwal, this question is, I think it's not solvable. He said, I feel the same, but because I somehow feel that you have natural inclination to mathematics, so sir, can you try to solve it later? I said, okay. So next day, he and I sat and we tried to do things, and in next 2 days, I solved this question. It took me 2 days, and you know what? I came up with something which was very new, and I used to call it Brahma Triplets. That is the today's class. So as it's like a film, isn't it? You see the prologue and then the real film starts. I call them Brahma Triplets because through it I was able to make a new formula, and I made this formula only to solve this question. Unknowingly I created something which was so nice, and you want to know it, isn't it? All of you want to know it. Well, अभी तक जो हमने किया है, so this was the Pythagoras theorem. P square plus B square is equal to H square. As you can see here, there are 3 variables. Are you excited now? Do you think like this? The 3 variables. And mathematically, if the 3 variables and we want to find the value of one variable, we should know the value of other 2. Yes or no? So if I say, okay, the value of P is 7 and value of B is 24, what is the value of H? You can solve it. Of course you can solve it. You can solve it, right? But if someone comes to, कुछ तो याद होते हैं 5, 12, 13, 7, 24, 25 एकदम से आ गया आपसे और बोलेगा बताओ, if P is 9, then what will value of B and H? So this will become very difficult, isn't it? And now I will do it just like a pro. So listen to me carefully, make your notes carefully. For n is equal to odd, the Brahma triplet will be n squared minus 1 by 2 and n squared plus 1 by 2. And for n to be even, the triplet will be n squared minus 4 by 4 and n squared plus 4 by 4. This will be a triplet if n is even. Okay? Now let us test it. Let's test it. Kare? Priyanka, Sandeep, new matrix, whatever name is, Abhinav, Maya, Mohit, Haseeb, Sandeep. थोड़े मजे करते हैं. Let's pick a number. Let's pick any number. चलो तुम्हें 3, 4, 5 छोटे मोटे याद हैं, बड़ा उठाते हैं. What if n is 9? तो कोई बोलेगा चलो बताओ, एक राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल है, उसका परपेंडिकुलर 9 है या बेस 9 है, तो बाकी जो साइड्स क्या होंगे? तो तुम या तो हिट एंड ट्रायल करोगे या तुम्हें ये पता होगा. You'll put the value and get the answer. So if n is 9, what is this? 9 squared minus 1 by 2 is 40, and 9 squared plus 1 by 2 is 41, and we got the answer. It's 9, 40, 41. We got the triplet. We got the triplet. सही है? Check कर लो. The value of 9 square is 81. The value of 40 square is 1600 and the value of 41 square is 1681. (940) 41 होगा, 42 नहीं होगा. New matrix and Abhinav. सही है ना? चलो 9 वाला फिर भी कई लोग याद रहते हैं. लेट्स टेक अनदर नंबर. लेट्स टेक, अब पता है हमारे लिए जिंदगी काफी आसान हो चुकी है. You know who, when we call someone cool, when a person becomes cool, then he can solve mathematics like a pro and knows language and has a scientific bent of mind. Only those are the people whom I feel are the real cool, actual cool. And I want all of you to be actual cool. Shubh, how I derived? Okay, we can discuss that as well. Derivation. But let us feel the magic first of all. Let's take NS17. NS17. So 17 square is 289. Minus 1 is 288. Upon 2 is 144. And the second one, 17 square plus 1 upon 2. This will be 145. Let's check it out. Abhinav, in India, we don't get patents of mathematics, any formula, but there's one way that you write a book and the formula which, if it appears the very first time in the book, then it automatically, morally, it belongs to that person. So I've written a book already. That's called Brahma Ganit, in which I have 9 different theorems which I have made. This is just one of them. Okay. Let's check it out, whether it is true or not. 17 square is 289. Am I right? The square of 144. इसका square क्या होगा यार? इसका square होगा 20736. Am I right? Just check it. I think यही होगा. And 145 square will be equal to कितना हो जाएगा? 21025. Okay, you can check this out. सही है? अब तुम्हें ये भी लग रहा होगा जल्दी में स्क्वायर कैसे निकाल ले रहा हूँ, वो भी एक थ्योरम है which I will tell you in next speed math session. I think you guys want to do that, to calculate square like this, है ना? We'll do that. Let's take something even. What if I take n as, let's take n as 20. N is 20. So it's even. So 20 square is 400 minus 4 upon 4. 396 upon 4. ये होगा ना? Yeah. It will be 199. And 20 square plus 4 whole upon 4 will be 201. Check this out, if it's correct or not. It is correct. So 20 square plus 199 square must be equal to 201 square. 20 square is 400. 199 square कितना होता है? 39601. Right? सही है ना? Check this out. I'll get the same answer. And 201 square is 40401. आ गया मजा? 99 से करना, चलो 99 करते हैं. Now I think you guys are enjoying it a lot. I'm erasing the entire ink. So someone said Abhinav wants to do it for 99. N is 99. N is odd. So 99 square minus 1 by 2 and 99 square plus 1 by 2 should be there. This is how much? 99 square. 9801 minus 1. So we have 4900 and 4901. That is the correct triplet. कहाँ पे 99 आएगा? 20. हाँ मैंने गलत लिखा था वो. थैंक यू. मैंने एक्स्ट्रा, दिस विल बी दिस, मैंने 100 एक्स्ट्रा जोड़ दिया था. Is it clear? Everyone? Interesting, isn't it? हम कुछ भी निकाल सकते हैं. How many of you want to be cool? Writing the formula again. याद हो गया? हमें अब सवाल ये वाला करना है जिस सवाल का फॉर्मूला बनाया था मैंने. पे अटेंशन एवरीवन. द मिडिल टर्म इज n स्क्वायर माइनस 1/2. इफ आई पुट n as 1, this becomes 0, and 0 cannot be any side of any triangle. That means n cannot be equal to 1. When n is odd, it should not be equal to 1. Similarly here, if you put n as 2, this becomes 0. So when n is even, n cannot be equal to 2. उस फॉर्मूले में मैंने ये दो बातें छुपा के रखी थी अभी तक, बट अब वो क्लियर हो चुकी है. Is that right? So what can we say? We can say that all the numbers except 1 and 2 can form at least one Pythagorean triplet. Is that right? All the numbers except 1 and 2 can form at least one Pythagorean triplet. सही बात है? तुम 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 दुनिया के सारे नंबर्स डाल दो, you'll always get something, but not at 1 or 2. Because in that case, the middle term becomes 0. Beautiful, isn't it? अब हम सवाल सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. कितने ट्रायंगल बनेंगे ऐसे? वही ट्रायंगल बनेंगे जो 1 और 2 से मिलके बनते हैं. एक बनेगा 1, 1, 1, एक बनेगा 2, 2, 2 और एक बनेगा 2, 1, 2. The answer is 3. Normally I get answers as 0 or infinite, which I think Abhinav did. But now, Yantra, I corrected that. आ गया मजा ना? कितना मुश्किल सवाल था ये, और अगर किसी को ये फॉर्मूला ना पता होगा था तो वो शायद कर भी ना पाए. Is that clear? Tell me in the comments. Haseeb, 1, 1, 2 would not be a triangle. Triangle के बारे में पता है ना बात आपको? Sum of any two sides is greater than the third side. I know you know it. है ना? अरे न्यू मैट्रिक्स, हसीब, पंकज, माया, ये देखो. यार 1, 1, 1, 2 तो ट्रायंगल बनेगा ही नहीं. समझ गए? Got it everyone? मजा आ गया ना? तो अब कुछ बातें हम सीखेंगे इससे. पहली बात, start writing it. Except 1 and 2, all the numbers would be a part of at least one Pythagorean triplet. अगर मैं बोल रहा हूँ at least one, इसका क्या मतलब है? इसका मतलब क्या है? 2 का भी हो सकता है, 3 का हो सकता है, 3 का नहीं हो सकता. So I'll give an example. See, in 3, 4, 5, 5 is the hypotenuse, but in 5, 12, 13, 5 is either the perpendicular or the base. Yes. So basically a number can act as a perpendicular or base or the hypotenuse. So it can be a part of 2 different triplets, any number, except 1 and 2. We can say that, isn't it? We of course can say that. और जो मैंने फॉर्मूले बनाए हैं, both these formulae, there is one thing that we should realize. What? We should realize one thing, that hypotenuse is a function of perpendicular or base. कि n के थ्रू हम n square plus 1/2 या n square plus 4/4 निकाल रहे हैं. We do not have a reverse relation. When I say reverse, what if I know the hypotenuse? Can I find the perpendicular and base? ठीक है? देखो, whenever a practicing mathematician does things, this is how he does, and I am walking you through my mind. जब मैंने ये किया, अब मुझे दिमाग में आया, यार अगर हाइपोटेन्यूज गिवन हो तो क्या मैं परपेंडिकुलर निकाल पाऊंगा? कर सकते हैं क्या ऐसा? एक तरीका तो ये है कि जैसे मान लो किसी ने बोला, लेट्स से किसी ने मुझसे बोल दिया कि भाई देखो, बताओ, कोई बोलेगा बताओ, इज या कैन 25 बी हाइपोटेन्यूज? तो मुझसे ये पूछ लेगा तो मैं क्या करूंगा? थ्रू दिस आई विल डू वन थिंग. अगर ये है तो वो यहां पे या यहां पे सेटिस्फाई करेगा. यस और नो? सो लेट मी पुट इट ओवर देयर. So I'll take both the cases. Case 1, because I don't know n is odd or even. So if I assume n to be odd, I will equate n square plus 1/2 to 25 and then solve for n. क्या मिल जाएगा? 49. So n becomes 7. 7 is a natural number. Okay. So I will say the answer will be yes. 25 can be a hypotenuse. Is that right? Is that right, guys? हाँ या ना? सबको समझ में आ गया? आ गया? क्या कोई नंबर हाइपोटेन्यूज होगा कि नहीं होगा? We can do it like this. All of you got it? Okay. So, but you know what? I was not satisfied with this. I wanted more. I want a formula through which I can calculate the value of perpendicular and base if I know the value of hypotenuse. Okay? Okay? So I was not yet satisfied. Before going there, let me tell you a story. Look at this. You're going to change your mind. There should be blood. The ancient Italian mathematical civilization was divided in 2 cults. One was the Pythagorean school of thought, and they believed everything which Pythagoras propounded. देखो, ये सब लोग पाइथागोरस के फॉलोवर थे. भाई बोला ये है, लोग मानते थे हाँ भाई यही है. ठीक है? It is a school of thought. The others were skeptics and they analyzed everything before accepting it as general truth. ठीक है? हमेशा ऐसा होता है. We will find there 2 people. One is the one who's ruling, other one opposing. Mathematics भी ऐसी थी. The human civilization never realizes when it transforms from appreciation to fanaticism. I hope you understand this. भक्ति से अंधभक्ति कोई चीज बन ही जाती है. That is natural. Isn't it? सो यू वांट टू अप्रिशिएट समवन कि कितना अच्छा काम कर रहा है, इतना ज़्यादा हो गया आपके अंदर कि अब आप क्या हो रहे हो कि बिल्कुल आप भक्त ही बन गए हो. नाउ यू हैव बिकम फैनेटिक. This happened during that time also. This is what happened with Pythagorean school of thought. So a lot of people who believe in Pythagoras, they're fanatics. Whatever he says will be the correct one. And then a young skeptic mathematician analyzed Pythagoras' theorem and came to the conclusion that there are some numbers which would not satisfy Pythagoras' theorem. He chose both the shorter limbs of a right angle triangle to be unity. When I say unity, it means one. उन्होंने बोला चलो दोनों को वन वन मान लेते हैं. The third limb was incalculable. It was incalculable because through Pythagoras theorem, this should be 1 square plus 1 square का square root, or I can say square root of 2. Now this number was not even existing at that time. उस time सिर्फ natural numbers ही थे. Are you listening to this? Are you understanding this? उस टाइम सिर्फ नेचुरल नंबर्स ही थे. मैंने पहले भी कहा था, इसी कारण से पाइथागोरियन ट्रिपलेट्स नेचुरल नंबर्स के होते हैं. फिर क्या हुआ? He did not reject the idea of the universe being a combination of infinite right triangles, जैसा पाइथागोरस ने कहा था, but he proposed to other mathematicians that Pythagoras might not be aware of an other number system. क्या पता उनको एक और नंबर सिस्टम होगा जो यहाँ पे आएगा, उन्हें पता ना हो. क्या पता? The fanatics did not take it in the right spirit, of course. भक्तों को मिर्ची लग गई. उन्होंने क्या किया? The young mathematician was dragged out of his hut, painted black and drowned in a pond out of the village. मुंह काला किया, घसीट के बाहर लाए, मारा पीटा और एक पानी में डुबा के मार दिया तालाब में. That day, intelligence died, blood dripped, and history was ashamed. The courage persisted, and the future mathematics categorized natural numbers. The numbers which followed the rationale of Pythagoras were termed as rational and others irrational. आज तक तुम्हें पता नहीं होगा कि तुम नंबर्स को रैशनल या इरैशनल या नेचुरल क्यों बोल रहे थे. तुमने बस इन बातों को याद कर लिया है, बट पता था ऐसे क्यों हुआ है? रैशनल क्यों? किसके रैशनल? कौन सा रैशनल है इसमें? द रैशनल ऑफ पाइथागोरस. So Pythagoras was such an important figure in mathematical history of mankind that whatever was on his rationale was rational number, otherwise was irrational number. तो जो वो मैथमेटिशियन बता रहे थे कि एक और नंबर सिस्टम होगा, शायद पता ना हो पाइथागोरस को, दैट वाज इरैशनल नंबर सिस्टम व्हिच नाउ वी नो. So the history was written with blood and now is the time to write it in gold, and that is what we are going to do, you and I. Let's write the history in gold. Are you ready? आज आंखें खुल गई ना? कभी ना पढ़ा है ना जाना है. Nobody talks about this, but this is what the actual maths is. And this is a very sad story. When I got to know about it, I was almost crying as a kid. सच बोलना, लोगों की सोच बदलना कितना गलत हो सकता है ना? You know it now. So, this root 2 is an irrational number because it cannot be part of any Pythagorean triplet. Okay? Let's move further. This question. A square plus B square is 2809. How many integral solutions A, B exist? We have gone back to the same kind of questions. Now I have changed the values. I have taught you a lot. This is the last question for today. Once you do this, this thing will be over. सबसे पहले I would help you a bit. 2809 is a perfect square. So A square plus B square is equal to 53 square. अब मुझे सब लोग बताएंगे इसमें कमेंट्स में क्या करोगे आप? How would you solve it? See, the answer will be either 4 or 12. है ना? प्रियंका याद है? तुम बोलते बहुत टाइम लगेगा, तो लगेगा नहीं. 4 तब होगा जब 53 हाइपोटेन्यूज नहीं हो सकता और 12 तब होगा जब 53 हाइपोटेन्यूज हो सकता है। अभिनव चलो बाद में पूछ लेना वो डाउट, समझ में आई बात है, सबको याद है ना? आई एम रिपीटिंग, वो उसका सर्कल याद है ना? अगर 53 हाइपोटेन्यूज नहीं हो सकता किसी राइट एंगल ट्राइंगल का, तो आंसर सिर्फ ये 4 वैल्यूज आएंगी। अगर हो सकता है तो आंसर 8 और वैल्यूज आ जाएंगी। तो आंसर इज ईदर 4 और 12। योर लाइफ इज इजी नाउ, ऑल यू हैव टू डू इज टू आइडेंटिफाई whether 53 is a hypotenuse or not. That's it. Once you do it, you'll get the answer. So tell me, आसान हो गया ना? इतना ही चेक करना है। काफी डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन है, बट वी कैन जस्ट डू इट बाय यूजिंग द थ्योरम्स। बी क्विक। Hasib says 4. Why Hasib? 53 is not a triplet, not a hypotenuse, right? That is the reason. And Hasib, how did you check it? तुम लोगों ने क्या किया? आई नो, from the Brahma Triplets you equated this to 53 and tried to solve the value of n. 2 into 53 is 106, so n is root 105, not a perfect square. irrational हो गया, irrational हो गया है ना? नहीं होगा। अच्छा, दूसरा वाला केस, case 2 where it can be even, when n can be even, so n square plus 4 upon 4 is 53. if you try to solve for n you will get कितना गया? 20, 12, 212, 208, so n is root 208. ये भी irrational है, perfect square नहीं है, so ये भी नहीं होगा, and that is the reason you took it by 4, right? That is how you guys did it. Of course, that is how you must have done it, है ना? हाँ या ना, जल्दी बताओ मेरे को। हाँ, okay. Square of 28 is equal to 784. Square of 45 is equal to 2025. Let's add them. We got 2809, which is the square of 53. ये कौन सा खेल हो गया हमारे साथ? Even after putting in the Brahma Triplets equation, we got the wrong answer. Answer should be 12. 28 और 45 सेटिस्फाई कर रहा है, 28, 45 और 45, 28, the negative part of it as well. कुछ तो दिक्कत है लाइफ में, क्या है ये पता करते हैं। तो तुम्हें याद होगा मैंने कहा कि when I was making this equation, hypotenuse was dependent on the value of perpendicular or base, but I wanted something through which if I know the value of hypotenuse, how to find the value of perpendicular or base. And I told you I was not satisfied. There has to be something. ठीक है? And I did that something. Now the next thing is, if this doesn't work, so for hypotenuse we should use another formula. Let's go over there. ठीक है? This is the last thing for today. So if we have an equation like this, तो हम क्या करेंगे? Here C को तुम ब्रेक कर दोगे स्क्वायर ऑफ 2 natural numbers. If you can break it like this, then the triplet will be C2 square minus C1 square 2 times C1 C2, और C तो है ही है, C is the hypotenuse. This is the next triplet. So when I calculated this, you know what happens when you create a theorem, you try to check it whether it was already created or not. तो पहला दिखाया था वो क्रिएट नहीं हुआ था, पर ये मैंने बनाया बट ये क्रिएट पहले से हो चुका था. You know who did it earlier? It was the great Srinivasa Ramanujan, and we call this as Ramanujan Triplets. तो रामानुजन लाइफ में क्या क्या किया है, महान थे, सबको पता है. क्यों महान थे ये बहुत लोगों को नहीं पता, और उन्होंने क्या किया है तुमने आज तक कुछ पढ़ा भी नहीं होगा इन स्कूल और कॉलेज. बट नाउ यू नो Ramanujan calculated this. This is Ramanujan triplets, and it will be used when you have the value of hypotenuse and you want to calculate the value of perpendicular or the base. So let's fall in love with three people: Pythagoras, Ramanujan, and that unknown mathematician who was killed. And that is how we got the concept of irrational numbers. We learned these things today, and let us respect our ancestors, the people who have shed blood and worked day and night and made something which has made our life so easy and so happy and so beautiful. Isn't it? Let's respect them, let's love them, let's love mathematics, because that is the only way we can live the most beautiful life. Having said that, I would like to take your leave. We'll meet again. Thank you. Also, tell me, how did you enjoy the session? If you have doubts, put in the comments. I'll do the session again. You can revise it, and I'll answer it personally by tomorrow. And now try to use these things. So when we start geometry in the batch, in your batch, then these things will make all the more sense.